On June 2nd, I went longboarding with my friend Mike, just up the street from where I live. 70 feet into the whole longboard session, completely removed from my longboard and landed square on the very back of my head here. At that moment, I actually fractured my skull in over 10 places.
We got there just as they were getting ready to load him into the ambulance. We were able to follow the ambulance up to McKay-Dee Hospital, which is where they took him. And they took him there because it was a Trauma 2 hospital, which was a type of hospital they needed to treat the injury that he had sustained. We had been told exactly where he stood from that minute he got into the hospital, which was a 90% chance of death.
They did not really expect me to live. At best, I'd probably be a vegetable. The actual procedure that they did on my head is a fairly new surgery. Dr. Blake Welling was my surgeon at that point and took leadership in deciding to remove 80% of my skull, removing my skull on both sides here, to allow my brain to swell to the level that it needed to in order for me to live.
While we were at the hospital with Kyle, he was there for 5.5 weeks, 3.5 weeks which were in ICU.
The first thing I remember after my coma, which I was in a coma for 3.5 weeks, was me actually getting wheeled into a room to do another CAT scan on my head. You know, that's honestly the first thing I really remember. I would ask what happened to me, but I never really understood, and then I'd have to be told again and again and again.
We felt as parents that we would probably be having to take care of Kyle the rest of his life, and that was kind of a daunting task before us to think of having to do that. But the fact that he's where he is at today is truly a miracle.
I like the fact that you know, Dr. Welling had the guts to do such a surgery, and you know, I have to follow his bravery and saying, you know what, I need to live up to what Dr. Welling did.
You know, Intermountain Healthcare, I feel like, has a really good handle on treating not only patients but family members of the patients that come to the hospital. We were treated like family members, and it is fun to go back and see those doctors and see those nurses, because we felt a definite feeling of care from them. And they exhibited that not only through the care that they gave to our son Kyle, but also to the compassion which they showed towards us as parents.
My injury really has given me the opportunity to really evaluate what things are important to me. Realizing life is such a short time, and you know, any moment could be the last, and so you got to live up to that moment and seize that moment.